about me talking about it just a bit, no spoilers, my reactions, and I'm joined with Andy from Popcorn Planet.
Happy to be
And
here, man.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's safe to have me here because you're technically not allowed to review the film. I
yeah.
just want to ask some questions,
Oh yeah,
and we're on social media, so therefore you can react like you're allowed to do. Correct?
yeah,
You're
yeah. This
technically
is
not
just
allowed to
a
review the
reaction.
film. I
Yeah,
just want to
and we're
ask
gonna
some
be reacting
questions.
to
Oh yeah,
the a bunch of reactions too. So
let's do it.
it's not really a review. And
We
in the
got reactions
meantime,
up here. We did
I'm
it.
gonna.
Thanks for coming on mine. John was pretty harsh.
Was I harsh?
I mean, you were honest.
Yeah.
You were honest, and I appreciate you for your honesty. Hold on, I
Yeah.
was making sure people I was tweeting out that we're live on your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your honesty because as we were talking on my channel, I do have the. Sorry, I can't see what you're showing. I think you have the. You have yes. Okay, so we're looking at Brandon Davis's tweet. No disrespect to Brandon Davis, but he's like a big Marvel fan and loves everything Marvel does. I didn't expect a critique from him, but John, you gave a really good critique, so thank you for being fair.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think everyone's trying to be fair with their. You don't think everyone's trying to be fair with their reactions all over social media?
Like I said on I think some early critics, like the big dogs, and I was one of them. I know I'm not anymore as much. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not trying to like ask for praise or complain, but it's like when I did Screen Junkies and had, we were interviewing Benedict Cumberbatch and actually had real access,
Yeah.
like at that point, I did feel a little bit of like, I don't want to just completely shit on them. So there was a little bit of like, if I had nothing nice to say, I avoided it.
Yeah.
I think at the time, and I think some of these critics do just because they're being polite and they want to retain friendly face
Oh
to
yeah.
faces.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. Especially
like,
when you're talent. Benedict
I'm sure
Cumberbatch.
if they really hated it, they would say so, But I
Yeah.
don't know. When it's like a mediocre, I think they're like, it's really good action, is what that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, yeah, no. I feel you. Like if you're meeting up with them, you're at a movie premiere, and afterwards you talk about the movie and the actors in it. You're not gonna be like, "This movie's terrible, dude." I don't know why you're in it. Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. I would be like, I would just be like, you know what? I liked your performance. It was great, and I have thoughts. That's it.
Yeah, no, I've changed. It's true. Some people are like, you were a phony. I mean, at a certain point, I guess it's fair. I was a little bit to an extent, but now I'm like, I don't give a shit. Being canceled helped me realize, just be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that it helps people are more excited. I'm sure they like you, they like me, like whoever is just being honest with them.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. If you have my reaction. Let's start off with my reaction first.
No, I have it. Sorry, I'm in control. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
So
you're
here's
in control.
John's reaction.
It's somewhere there.
You
just removed it. Like, oh, we finished. Oh, here it is.
There it is.
Yeah. You want to read it for me?
Sure. I wanted to enjoy Black Widow, but it was a disappointment. Scarlett Johansson was a treat when she's on the screen, and Florence Pugh provided a lot of the comedy. However, the villains never felt like threats, and Taskmaster's potential was wasted. I mean, because you needed to react, so I'll help point you, John.
Yeah.
Were the villains good?
The villains were not good. No, the villains, like that's the main thing. Like you see the trailer, you see Taskmaster, you're like, I want to see Taskmaster kick ass. He does the main thing. Taskmaster kicks ass just a little bit, but the overall storyline involving that, I just didn't care. And with Taskmaster, I felt like the potential was wasted because they didn't show much. Like once they're about to do this whole scene, it just kind of ends. It reminds me of Wonder Woman fighting Cheetah.
Oh,
but worse than that, because at least in that one they actually fought a bit. Here, they do fight, but it was like early on. But then the final third act, it was anticlimactic. I know what they're trying to do with that story, but I wanted to see more.
all right. I mean, the Marvel villains notoriously are not that great. We got Killmonger, right? He was a good villain.
Thanos
was probably I still think the best villain. You had Loki, who's not really a villain, right? Sometimes depends.
Yeah. Now he's not, but before he was a great villain in Avengers and Thor 1 and just all the stuff he's doing in 2 and Ragnarok. But he was helping Thor out, so that doesn't really count. People like him. That's what you do with villains that people like.
Are there any other ones you can think of, though? I mean, it's like there aren't. And I think people were stoked for Taskmaster, but you're saying don't get too excited for Taskmaster.
Yeah, don't. I wish they utilized more of Taskmaster's skill because you see it in the trailer. Taskmaster is studying all the moves, but then when Taskmaster does the moves, you're like, okay, it's done. What else?
Well, and that would be so much cooler with other like big cool heroes that he's like
Yeah.
matching everybody's
Yes.
powers.
Oh my God! Imagine if Taskmaster was in an Avengers film. I'll be excited for that. But it was in this film, and it was always like 1-on-1. It was never like one versus many. I want to see one versus many, and just see Taskmaster just wipe the floor with everyone.
Like, so it's like he sort of downloads what happens and then can sort of mimic and do what you do. That
Yeah.
to have just a bunch of kung fu Black Widow style moves, you're right, that's not as exciting. If he suddenly can like take over everybody else's moves, that would be a really cool sequence.
And I like when you mentioned like the downloading kung fu moves, like the Matrix, which it pretty much is. Like, I'm not sure.
Careful.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'll just say that it reminded me of the Matrix. It reminded me of Keanu just going, "I know kung fu."
Oh God. Oh my God. I wanted it to be deflated, but John's just completely like just nuked my expectations. And it's so funny because John, all we're getting is like, it's the best solo films of all time, start to finish. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Marvel movies are back. Tense, action-packed spy thriller that completes the story. Visceral, emotional. Who crushes it? I mean, this is exactly what I've always wanted. I wanted to see Mission Impossible meets Thelma and Louise.
No, not once have I ever wanted a Thelma Louise in a more of a film. Maybe, but I never felt that with this one. And Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, like we talked about it before, where I said Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. You see, like he's doing his stunts, and you really feel the tension. Like, oh, is he gonna hurt himself? Is he gonna like break his ankle, which he did. And here, some of the I will admit the action sequences. Some of them are really brutal. There's like knife cuts. There are legs being broken. But for me, it felt cartoony. And with the knife cuts, you never really see the blood, so it's kind of like a PG-13 knife cut action. With Mission Impossible stuff, not there. It's like it's Mission Impossible like action. It's Winter Soldier like action. But those action sequences, I still, for like an MCU, Winter Soldier still on the top with those car chase sequences and just like the gritty, just fights. But yeah, no, this movie does have those hard fights, but not the quick cuts. Kind of kills it for me.
I want to address this spammer in the comments. It's just he's one of many, and it's like, hey, let him say whatever he wants, but
yeah.
But what are you talking about? There's so many good comments. You guys are so annoying. Go watch DC. Oh my God, haters.
Uh-huh.
Why? I mean, it's just like it's so frustrating that because I have to assume you're a Marvel fan like I am. Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to root for these movies, but like, why do you think these fans get so butthurt when it's like you don't love WandaVision? Why didn't you love all of WandaVision? Why don't you love this? Like, oh my God, you're haters.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is like they need to have you love it all? Like, can't we talk about the film and critique the film? What do you think it is about these fans that go nuts?
I think it's a short attention span type thing where if one person, they don't, like if I don't know anything about you or your history on how you feel about movies and it's just a reaction to just this movie and I'm excited about it, I was like, screw you, Andy! Screw you! How dare you! I'm excited for this. So it kind of makes sense. But if you read the past, like, oh, Andy likes this, Andy likes that, it's like, wow, he's a human being. He has,
feelings. Yeah.
Feelings, yeah.
Winter Soldier is amazing. So when I see people comparing it to it, I was like, ooh. But that also sets up an expectation level that I think I'm glad you're sort of knocking us down a bit to get prepared because what is your favorite Marvel movie, just so for people to base their comparisons?
You mentioned it, Winter Soldier. It's
fantastic.
It's fantastic. And the balance, between the action and the comedy. Comedy's toned down, but when it's there, it's fun. And I felt like when people mention here, like it's tense, like that is tense. When Nick Fury, when he gets shot, I'm like, oh no, are they gonna kill him off? Like there is that seed of doubt just for a little bit. And with this,
you didn't feel that.
I didn't feel that here. There were. Oh my God! There's like a scene where Black Widow gets thrown falls down, gets hit. You've seen it before with Captain America where he falls down from like floor to floor to floor. And that makes sense with Captain America because he's a super soldier.
The super soldier, yeah.
With Black Widow, she's just a human, but she's really good at fighting. But it happens to her, and she just walks off like nothing. I'm like, what? How's that tense? She's a living cartoon character. She is like a I don't know what like Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny can get hurt and just walk away with nothing. And there's plenty of moments for that here.
Well, that was always the critique I had, which was like, we didn't need this chapter. Like Winter Soldier was so great because it changed up the stakes, right? Let me put your screen on so you get your promotion there as we're talking. But
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was like Winter Soldier, like just destroyed expectations at the gate because the Russo brothers, and I remember talking about this. We did a screening with them and we interviewed them, which is such an honor.
Oh yeah.
And we made a point of talking to them about the fact that like they made Steve kick ass right away. Like that scene on the boat where he just knocks the soldier off the boat with his kick. Like, there was just an immediate adjustment. So you were like, you're in for a new Cap, a new movie, a new tone. We're going to totally circumvent your expectations. And they took you on a ride and then surprised you. And everything meant something. Like, I think everyone sort of went into Winter Soldier expecting Cap movie. We'll see if it's any good. But then they're like, oh no, get ready. And it just, everything in the MCU sort of just collapsed and became this massive, important chapter in the story. So to now go back and be like, oh yeah, great. This one's right after Civil War. And before, there's no stakes to it. So do they attempt to try to fix that by introducing the new characters? Or are there any surprises without saying the surprises? But do they attempt to try to make this mean something with other means that like maybe will please the fans?
It does mean something in the MCU with the end credit scene. That's it. But to mean something in the actual movie, she does talk about family. They do mention Avengers stuff and how, the Avengers is her other family. So you get to see more of Black Widow meeting other people and how they feel about her, where they would talk about who she is. Like, oh, you're an Avenger. So that's what I like, where you get to see just how it affects other people. Like, oh, you're in magazines. I always looked up to you. And a lot of people look up to her. But it does hit on like her past, where she doesn't want to have her past shown to the public because she's got a lot of red in her ledger. So that part I do like. There are parts I do like. I just think like the negative aspect of it just overshadows it more, because as a movie, as a whole, I wanted more of it. I wanted more of the family dynamic, just caring about them. But it just kind of felt forced, because in reality, their dynamic is forced because they're spies, or they're working for whatever organization to pretend to be this family. And then you have Pugh. She was like, but it felt real to me. I'm like, okay, all right.
Oh man, well,
I'm in the minority though.
Where would you rank it from other films? Is it as good as what's your worst favorite? What's the worst Marvel movie?
Like the worst for me, like I wouldn't watch again. Even though initially I enjoyed it just because of all the supporting characters, would be Captain Marvel. Because I like yeah, I like Nick Fury. I like the Skrulls in it. They're fun. Was it Ben Mendelsohn? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just great in that. So, but I wouldn't want to watch it again. The other ones would be maybe Iron Man 3, just because of the whole Ben Kingsley thing and Mandarin, because I wanted to see a legit Mandarin. And in Thor: Dark World.
I hate Iron Man 2 more than 3, actually. I'm one of those, but yeah, Thor: Dark World's the other one. I agree with you. Even Ultron never impressed me as much.
I think with Ultron, like as a movie, is whatever. But I like seeing the introduction of Wanda, and the introduction of Ultron. So that's cool. They have pros.
So based on those worsts, would Black Widow? Where would you put above those?
Like okay, at least with
would
Thor.
You put Ant-Man higher?
Ant-Man is higher because it's just a fun movie to watch.
Oh,
Ant-Man is higher.
Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange. I like I would watch Doctor Strange again with Benedict Cumberbatch and Benedict Wong together. Like I like their chemistry. Here, Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson, they're fun, but it's like few and far between of that funness because of the other storylines of which I didn't care about, like the villains and
So
the
you
other
picked Doctor
widows.
Strange.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, so
maybe
it's sliding
maybe
down the list.
maybe it might be the same though. I gotta watch Black Widow again, but it's somewhere along the lines of just because the villains.
Would you rather watch Doctor Strange again or Black Widow again?
Well, right now I would watch Black Widow again, just to see how I feel. If it would kind of change my mind, if it would maybe get a little bit better. Probably not.
And you saw, and just for the record, for people to know, you saw it in theaters.
I saw it in theaters. It was not a packed crowd. People were social distancing, and like, okay, we're gonna talk about more about these tweets later on. But the gist of it is that a lot of them liked it. A few of them says it's like one of the best solo films,
Yeah.
and
as he talks.
that means like those type of reactions you would think like they would be excited. Like, yeah, Doug, Black Widow, it's a roller coaster. It's a good deal. So at the end of the movie, I was expecting in the theater people would be like, yeah, clapping, but only one person clapped. Why is that? Like, if I liked it, I would clap. I would. But I was like, I was disappointed, so I didn't clap, and only one person clapped. So I feel like there is a disconnect somewhere. And I'm actually kind of interested to see once it comes out how people are going to react to it, because I am, once again, the minority. Everybody else loved it. There's only one other person I know on Twitter who thought it was.
One, I have it right here if you want to look at it. It was Scott Menzel.
Yeah,
and
you can read it.
Black Widow is so disappointing. Scarlett Johansson tries, but the script pacing, poor character development sink the film. Starts off promising, but by the second act becomes a disjointed, uneven mess. Generic, uninspired, ultimately lacking the Marvel magic. What's worse is that Black Widow plays like a 135-minute teaser to an upcoming Disney Plus series rather than an actual movie. The whole thing feels oddly pointless with a shoestring plot that is more concerned with setting up Pooh's Yelena than telling Natasha's backstory. The entire family subplot doesn't work, excuse me, because there is little to no chemistry between the characters. I get what the writers were going for, but the emotional hook isn't there. Instead, it feels forced. David Harbour, Rachel Weisz feel very out of place and are arguably miscast. As someone who enjoys action mixed with laughs, I found the humor to be off-putting. The jokes as a whole felt lazy, dated, out of place. Some were actually cringeworthy. Don't get me started on the goofy Russian.
The Russian accent, yeah.
Lackluster villain, as John said, with so many waiting for years for Black Widow. I couldn't help but feel cheated by this film. It fails to deliver the goods. It's a slap to the face for the fans who thought they would finally get a badass Black Widow movie. Johansson and Black Widow both deserved better. I mean, that's a review for one.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That is a review. That's like, yeah. Scott just kept talking about it, but it's a reaction. And I do agree with a lot of stuff. I think he's harsher on it. I felt the same, but I wasn't like. Actually, I do feel the same. What do I? Okay, let's go down to the part where he says he actually. It's out now. It's already out to the public. Where it's a 135-minute teaser to an upcoming Marvel Disney Plus series. So there aren't that many options left on what upcoming series there is. Like, what do you have left?
Careful.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it, but what do we have left? So he's already hinting at an upcoming one. We only have like 3, maybe.
Plays like an upcoming teaser to maybe there's a new one, John.
Yeah, maybe there is a new one, but I think for Scott, he's gonna be like the known stuff that's already out. So, and then he talks about how what was it, the family, like Rachel Weisz felt like out of place. I felt like she was out of place. The whole family dynamic with her, I just didn't feel it there. And then David Harbour, like he was trying to be the father figure, but he never quite lives up to that. So it just feels like he's just a dude trying to pretend to be a father to these people that he's haven't seen in a while. So I wish there was more of it. Like, and the movie was long, like 135, and we don't really have much of that. What to see? She found the humor. Let's see what else. Jokes. Russian accent. Yeah, the Russian accents I felt was too much from these non-Russian actors, and just tone it down a bit, kind of like what Wanda did. Like as the movie goes on, she tones it down, so you're not like, what is she saying? But actually, at least with her, with Wanda's accent, you can understand. With the Russian accents here, it's kind of hard to hear because like they added on very thick.
Like annoyingly so.
Yeah, I was like, just pretend you're, or just hire Russian actors. I don't know. The people are mentioning like, oh yeah, there's like upcoming Disney shows like Hawkeye, Secret Invasion. You got the She-Hulk that's coming out. You also have Ms. Marvel. So with those, you can kind of narrow it down what they're going to talk about.
Man. John said, I don't give up.
Let's talk about the good stuff. Let's see what people like.
Man, all right. There's some other good reviews if you want to go through them. I mean,
Yeah.
There's Perry's review. Good deal. It's kind of worried about watching this story unfold, knowing what's coming in Endgame, but that might diminish the stakes. But that wasn't the case. In fact, it's kind of prequel story that feels bound to enhance other installments. You call BS on that.
What stakes? We already know what's going to happen to Black Widow. And let's say Titanic, you knew the ship was going to go down, but you didn't know the characters. You didn't know what was going to happen to them. So those are the stakes for that. Like, is Jack going to live? No, he's not. He's dead. So those are the stakes. With this one, you already know what's going to happen to Black Widow. Other than that, what else is there for the stakes? What, for the characters? Not really. You never really felt like they were going to die. And let's say the villains, right? Whatever their master plan is, because the villains in the MCU, they always have some kind of ultimate plan. I didn't care because they didn't show enough of that for me to care. It's kind of like surface level stuff. Like, this is what he or she is doing. And you're like, well, why? Like, I want to see the faces of these people or whatever it is that they're going to affect. And I never felt that. So I would disagree with this.
Yikes. Nonstop roller coaster ride from beginning to end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster ride.
Okay, stays there.
Yeah.
One of the Marvel's finest emotional story.
I would say it's low key. It's very low key because there's a lot of. It felt like a larger than life Disney Plus series, where it just focuses on Black Widow, just trying to live kind of like a normal life until all this stuff, crazy stuff happens. And I do like that, but I just didn't care. And
do they remind you at the start of the movie, like sort of this where it takes place, Civil War stuff? Do they do like one of those recap style?
It's like more of a trying to show you the backstory of Black Widow, like the younger life.
Right, but I'm saying the movie takes place after Civil War, right? Do they set that it's clear?
Yeah. It's definitely setting up where
Loki starts off with the end of Endgame. You're like, okay, they're reminding you. They do a job.
They do remind you like this is set between Civil War and Infinity War.
Okay, and then we had some more here. Really intense scenes. Big Mission Impossible scenes that you say that you didn't feel the vibe of Mission Impossible at all.
I get what they're trying to say, like with the, I guess, action stuff running through the city. It's there. Like I like the action sequences in Mission Impossible more, just because whoever does the action moments, they know how to capture it well. And with Bond, some of the action sequences I think was a lot better, especially with Battle Royale with the parkour sequences. That was great. A lot of just like longer shots, but with Black Widow, I wish that a lot of the fight scenes, especially with her against the Widows, her against her sister, just longer takes, because there's a lot of like just being hurt, and every time she gets hurt, it's a stunt double, because they're not going to hurt the actors. They're not going to hurt the face.
So the other thing is they're all ruining this fact of like Florence Pugh has a bright future at Marvel Studios. So
Oh yeah.
clearly she survives and becomes a big part of the MCU.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's definitely like a
They're not hiding
spoiler,
it.
but yeah, they're not hiding it. Florence, and then a lot of the, if you look at a lot of the reactions on social media, they talk about Florence, how she shines, and one tweet actually says Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow feels like a side character, and for moments I felt like, yeah, this is more of the Florence Pugh show and less on Black Widow. I was like, where is she? What's going
Well,
on?
is it weird? That's a good question. Again, we don't want to spoil things. We're careful, guys. But it's like at a certain point, right? This is supposed to be the Black Widow movie, right? And so they're
Yeah.
basically made a Black Widow movie to make a new, younger Black Widow. Do you get that vibe at all?
Oh yeah, definitely a
movie?
vibe. Yeah,
So
because
it's
she
like,
she
oh, cool,
shines.
you finally get your movie, Scarlett. But oh, cool, check out this hot new actress, Florence Pugh, who we just got to be. And yeah, guys, clearly you want her back. Okay, we'll find a way to bring her back. I mean, did they make it very clear that
It's pretty clear that she is a newcomer who's gonna outshine who is the star, and with Scarlett, like one of them says, no, she does a solid job. That's not saying much. Like I do like Scarlett as Black Widow. I wish she has more of a material to go on. And the parts where her backstory comes back, stuff with the backstory, I just didn't care because I didn't. I did not.
I'm getting
it's so hard to like try to talk about this and not try to spoil things.
Yeah, and I don't want you to, but but it is. I mean, they're all doing it. These are all the reactions.
They're spoiling it more than I am.
Yelena, right? And so they're all making it. Get ready, A Star Is Born. It's like, well, if this is a prequel, clearly you're implying that she's going to be in more stuff. So
yeah,
clearly she doesn't die. So it's weird. Do they justify why we haven't? Well, we understand why we haven't heard of her until.
Yeah. They talk about it. Oh yeah, okay. That one when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Not like Loki, where it's like, I don't even want to talk about Loki in case people haven't seen it yet, but there are like things with the timeline, and then you deal with things with the end game, messing with the timeline with Captain America. You're like, what? Captain America? What? That doesn't count as messing with time? No.
Interesting. But yeah, there is something weird about the fact that they made this Black Widow movie and they're like, yep, she's the star now. Get ready for the new standout. Incredible action sequences. It's so good to see Natasha again, even if she feels like a side character sometimes. That was Mama's Geekies who said that. Pugh steals the show. Her chemistry with Scarlett makes the movie what it is and provides a lot of laughs.
I agree with that.
So they're good together.
They're good together, yeah.
So it would have been nice to see like more of them together, and maybe would you, after watching the movie, here's a question without trying to spoil it. After watching the movie, do you feel like they shouldn't have killed off Black Widow?
I think they still needed to do that for Endgame because that was an emotional scene, and I teared up when that happened. They probably should have done this before the movie.
If
Black
you
Widow.
had seen this movie after Civil War,
yes,
would you have been more excited?
No, I was still excited just to see her in a movie. But maybe I don't know. I really don't know. It's really hard to say just because the story. I still didn't care about the story though. So.
But like, if you knew she wasn't going to die at the end, Black Widow,
maybe I don't know.
Would it have changed the movie where you felt like, all right, cool, that was a fun movie. We met new characters. Good job.
Yeah.
She had her own movie. Because Captain America's not really in. You could argue he's not in Civil War, right? That's a Captain America movie.
Yeah, that is true. Because Captain America: Civil War, but he's still the star. Like he still is the one that's outshining, calling the shots. And at the end, he still gets that emotional scene with him, Bucky, Iron Man. It becomes very intimate. And I don't think anyone truly outshines like the Russo brothers really knows how to balance things. Here, it's Pugh. She's just like going higher and higher. And Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow is just the same level of just who she is.
Damn, that's crazy to hear. I'm shocked so many of these critics are like okay with that. Like that's a very worrisome and fair critique to be like, this is the Black Widow movie, and you're showcasing her too much. She seems great and all, but what the hell?
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting critique to prepare as you go in. I'm happy to say it's incredibly fun, deeply emotional action. Feels Winter Soldier, Poe, Johansson, Weiss, Notice he put Pooh first. They're all standing together, balances a tone that is dark, grounded, real, raw. Even after Endgame, you feel the stakes. You didn't.
Outstanding together. Not really. Like maybe Pugh, Johansson, and Harbor. Rachel Weisz, I felt like she was the weakest link just because she had, out of all of them, the less screen time. So I blame it on just like how they wrote her character. And I believe if they just focused on just the whole sister thing, get rid of the whole father-mother thing, I probably would have cared more about the storyline. Just have Pugh and Johansson just trying to figure things out together and fighting against the other widows.
Okay. What about this? Because there is the whole the connection of that she was hypersexualized. Scarlett Johansson's even sort of saying it now. Do you feel like the movie attempts to desexualize her in any way?
Yeah, because it's just a movie about her just doing this stuff, fighting. It's never about who she is as a character before. Where like the widows, they're trying to be like seductive, sexy. That's part of the allure, like to trick the men into like falling for them. And she did that with Iron Man too.
Right.
Little wink, and just to get inside, just play with his mind.
None of that. They get rid of that stuff in this one.
Yeah. It's
more of just a general spy movie. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And then we had Kicks Ass surpassed my expectations. Johansson has the tools to showcase Romanoff at a whole new level, only pausing to showcase the humanity. The action and the comedic notes are on point. Pugh nails it. Get ready for the Marvel Pugh-niverse. I mean, everyone's ruining it. Like,
Pugh-niverse.
She's the future. We're gonna see. How quickly do you think we'll see her again?
I think we're gonna see her like really soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a journey! Brilliant film with high emotional moments, good crazy action scenes, simple twists, and that shock, but aren't forced. Most importantly, it knows what kind of film it wants to be, and it leans into it.
Oh yeah, let's go back to that about the shock not feeling forced. It makes sense, with the story. And when you find out whatever this twist is, you're like, eh. It's like it's a simple twist. That's it. That's all it is. It's simple.
Lovely. John's killing us. Refreshingly different to other Marvel Studios releases. Did it feel different?
Yeah, it did feel different to the films, but it feels more similar to things like Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
To the shows.
Like, when you're watching Falcon just trying to get his boat. I know a lot of people didn't care about that. Who cares about this stupid boat? But it's just him just trying to get back to a regular life. And I kind of like it here, but I like it even more in Falcon. And if you're not even a fan of that part in Falcon, then you won't even care about that part in Black Widow. So,
I mean, even this GIF just feels like meh. It's meh.
Yeah. Let me read Bob's comment here. Like I said, not rooting for them to fail and then have a good track record of pulling off the impossible. Yeah. No. I'm not rooting for them to fail. Like, I was looking forward to this. I wanted this to be good. When I went to the theater, there's a shot of me on Instagram where I'm decked out in my Black Widow inspired clothing. Like, I had a red tie, I had a black dress shirt, black pants. So I was looking forward to it. Like, I was probably the only one dressed in Black Widow themed outfit. So.
And you just weren't impressed.
I was not impressed.
Jenna Bush goes off to just to say how frustrated she is because she couldn't get past the fact that the film felt late.
Yeah.
Even during the movie, she still is like, it has moments. It's great, but I hate that we had to wait this long, and that affected her opinion.
Oh, yeah. Film. Like, that really blinded her to enjoying the film, because I think in her mind, I'm not gonna speak for her, but I think that it's just a little too late, and so you don't care anymore.
Which is a valid, so good for her. Frosty Frosty's Frosty. He's always fair about everything. While entire cast is great, it hits home runs with the performances. No way audiences don't want more of both of these characters, of Pugh and Harbor. Do you think we'll get more Harbor? Would you want more Harbor? I guess is a safer question to answer. Maybe
more Harbor, living in America, and then he gets the American accent and less on his Russian accent. Then I'll be like, yeah, I'll be 100% on board. He's still kind of fun.
Okay.
Just the accent kills it for me.
Another Marvel fan. She's like BuzzFeed's Marvel person, I think. Yeah. Might be my favorite solo origin movie.
What? Yeah.
That's crazy talk. I haven't even seen it. I know that's crazy talk. There's something about because it's not a. I mean, it's not an origin movie. Also, it just shows she's out of touch, right? It's not an origin movie.
It's like one of those where it's still set in between those lines, but it still touches on her origins. Kind of like what is it?
So it delves into more of the stuff that like they did in Ultron.
Yeah, no, there's like another movie that takes place later, but then they still touch on like Daredevil. Daredevil starts off when he's already fighting, but then there are bits and pieces of his past coming to haunt him. So we get a little bit of that here. So you can still consider it an origin story, but still, she's already is Black Widow. And yeah, so everyone's agreeing. Like Florence Pugh, she's great. I think she's great. Dynamic with her and Scarlett is great. But no surprise, I cried. There were scenes I knew they were trying to be emotional, especially with the family stuff.
Didn't work for you.
Didn't work for me. I felt like Scarlett Johansson in that scene where she's like, "It's all fake," and then I think with Nora, she feels like Pugh, but it's like it felt real to me.
Wow, divorce story vibes. What can I say? Oh my God, yes! Give me all the Florence in the MCU. She's so good. I feel bad. I kind of feel bad. It's supposed to be Black Widow send off, but you really just want more Florence in every scene. So you agree with Zach's comment here. This is pretty spot on.
This is an interesting reaction because Zach doesn't even talk about the movie as a whole. It's just very specific about Pugh and how he feels about how Natasha was in that. And very spot on. Very spot on. I actually want to know what Zach thinks about the movie.
He doesn't say anything else.
Like that's it? Mystique? Just talks about Mystique?
That's it. He did a tweet about Mystique. Wow. He's not getting too much more involved.
No.
And then here's Marvel fans rejoice. It's outstanding. Arguably S tier. Entry in the MCU like Civil War, an aggressively bleak tone and dark story is balanced by legit LOL family. Matt comedy. Action is brutal. It's the first MCU film I've seen where stunts look like it hurts.
Wait, the first? Go back to that again.
Yeah, the first MCU movie. I don't think that's bullshit.
Yeah, there's like
Soldier had some great stunts.
Like, yeah, Winter Soldier stuff. And like when Nick Fury gets shot, yeah, it looks like he got hurt and it looks like he died. And the cartoon stuff. When you see it, when you watch the movie, when you see the part where Black Widow's fighting, and there are moments where a lot of characters, like Captain America is like the only character I know in a lot of his film where he falls down a lot. And you're like, ooh, that hurts. Here, there are some parts where it does happen to her. But then it's like a cat landing on her feet and brushing it off like nothing's happening. I was like, what? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't look like it hurts because she's fine.
Here's Eric Goldman. I saw Black Widow interlaced with the well-done action and humor. Some of the dark material we've seen in the MCU, which packs a punch. The cast is all great. Pugh is a standout. A couple of beats near the end I could have done without, but overall I enjoyed it. Is he being subtle there? Like the ending's not as strong? Is that
yeah. The ending is not. The third act I felt was very lackluster.
Also, stands true rarity is right off the bat because it has an opening credit sequence. Was it a cool, like they're trying to do like a Bond moment? Is that what that is?
I guess, yeah, the opening, it's good. But it's like, it's just, it doesn't matter at the end. It just doesn't matter in the end because it's got to be strong throughout. But yeah, I'll give him that.
And then we had that bad review, which we already started on. Now we've gone through all the reactions I have here. But
yeah,
Scott did not like it either. So you and Scott are on the same page.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're really on the same page. And I think the more I talk about it, I feel like the more I'm actually hating on it. Like before,
like me in Army of the Dead.
With Army of the Dead, really.
I like watched it. I'm like, oh, that was dumb fun. And then I'm like, that part was dumb. And then I'm like, wait a second, why did that didn't make any goddamn sense? Yeah. It's one of those movies that unraveled in my head. Do you feel like that happening here with this? Or just like, wait a second.
Oh yeah, and I feel like the more I see like the positive reviews, the more I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, I did not see that. I
Yeah.
didn't feel that. Like, I was, it's sad because I was trying to force myself to feel because I wanted to feel something for what's happening. And I'm the guy that usually cries like watching a lot of stuff. Like, if you see my reactions, there's a lot of things where I'm just like bawling. I don't even want to mention Mandalorian because I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that one. But you know, like Grogu, the send off, whatever. I was like, no. But here, nothing. Like maybe a little bit, just a little bit, maybe like 5%. I felt something.
Damn.
Yeah, 10, maybe 10. I don't
Soulless,
know. Yeah, but
John.
it's not a lot.
Just soulless. I'm shocked.
James
Well,
James Tyler saying it's like Skywalker, John. What? uh no, it's nothing like Skywalker. That has to live up to the original Star Wars films. That's a lot. This one doesn't have to live up to anything other than Black Widow getting her own movie. And I think I would watch this over Skywalker just because there's a lot of moments as a trilogy as a whole. I'm just turned off. I don't want to even watch the new stuff ever again. Here, it's still part of the MCU, so I'll still watch it.
well, man, you did not help my excitement level at all.
How, okay, how does it feel now? Like we did me on your thing, and then now here, you still kind of feel the same or?
Yeah, I mean, I have the same concerns I had before I even went into the film. You know what I mean? Like, because I always just felt like this wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Black Widow, right? I like Black Widow as a character. I think she should have had a movie way earlier. Just it's Jenna said it too. Like, it's just a little too late. Like you told her story already. It's over. I did this origin story, this prequel, sort of go back. I didn't need it, and I always knew like this is going to be a hard sell.
Yeah.
And you have not changed my mind. You've only made it more, and everything. It's like it's just a prequel for some new TV show starring Pugh or whoever else they're going to tease.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay. I mean, the MCU has just become one long TV show. Like it's all just like one long show narrative, and
sometimes great,
and sometimes an episode is awesome. You're like, all right, that was worth it. That was fun, and I'm gonna still watch it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm checking out, but it's just the excitement level of this one is like, I'll watch it. I'll be distracted. I'll probably be entertained. I'll probably be like, oh, cool. All right, yeah. But then at the end, I'll be like, it's not one I'm gonna rush to see again. It seems.
I'll also be surprised if like you enjoy it more than me. I actually want to hear your thoughts. Like, you got to bring me back once you start talking about this.
Yes, when I see it, I will happily bring you back for a more discussion so we can see if John was crazy or John was spot on.
Yeah, this is why I hate
support. Why don't you? John's like roasted his own contacts potentially. Why aren't you guys throwing some super chats out at this man right now? Go show some love to John's way because he's just putting it out there and keeping the honesty going. I applaud it, man. Good for you.
It's like I hate being like one of the first to watch it because you're never sure what's gonna happen. But the good thing is I get to like really talk about it. Like, since I don't see anyone else's opinions, this is how I feel at that moment in time. And sometimes I am in the minority and everyone else liked it. For example, Wonder Woman 1984. I actually enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure you did not enjoy 84.
I liked Pedro Pascal, surprisingly. I thought he was interesting. And it was nice to have Chris Pine there, but I realized he shouldn't have come back. And then the movie itself, she was terrible. Kristen Wiig was terrible. That was one of those movies that unraveled with me as I sat with it. I'm like, oof, I did not like that movie.
Another one was like watching Mulan. Like I think one of the few that did not like it at all. And everyone else was praising it. I was like, is it just because I'm Asian and I really see like because I do watch a lot of like the Asian cinema stuff of just the fantastical stuff, and I was like, this is like with the whole chi thing. But yeah, just sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. With Black Widow, I felt like everyone's gonna feel the same on how I felt. According to the theater reactions at the end, only one person clapped. And I talked to my other Nerd Reactor writer, Mark, who also felt like it was meh. I don't think he posted his reaction yet online, which I do want to see. And he's feeling the same with me. Like, and Mark, he's a huge Marvel fan, very huge, and he's a big Iron Man fan. But even he knows, like, if it's not good, he's not gonna like it. He's a huge Iron Man fan, and he did not like Iron Man 2.
I hated Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 is where things they try to blow up the MCU and get too much going on right away, and they lost focus of story. Iron Man 2 is it pushed Favreau away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard that was just a total mess all around the board, and they learned a lot, but I think that was just too much of a good thing. They were trying to get it all going, and it just didn't work.
It's funny you say that. It's like he learned a lot from that, where it's a lot of Easter eggs to try to tease to the future. And I think maybe he should learn that from Age of Ultron with cramming a lot of stuff for future stuff. This one, not as much cramming, but, with Pugh, everyone's saying that she's the highlight and there's a bright future for her in the MCU. I feel like it suffers because Scarlett Johansson, she is sidetracked into becoming a side character.
Yikes.
Like some scenes where you really feel like this is not really a Black Widow film anymore. Like let's go back to like Captain America: Civil War. Even though we focus on other parts, there are other characters, but you still feel like everything's revolving around Steve Rogers, Captain America, and what he says goes. And he's the one that, like, his decision is going to affect what's going to happen with the MCU and with the Avengers, because it does. He pissed off Iron Man, and at the end, Iron Man's like, I thought we were friends. And Captain America gives Iron Man back the shield, like, I don't need this shield anymore. And he walks away. So you're like, God damn. Like, it matters. Whatever his actions are, it matters. Here, Black Widow's actions, I don't think it really matters.
Damn, man.
What are people saying? And if you super chat, we'll definitely read that. Do some super chats.
Yeah, super chat a question. Here's your chance to get the skinny on Black Widow. Just no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Somebody send it over. I'm disappointed. Definitely disappointed, but not surprised. But at the same time, I'm going to go in open-minded as best I can.
Oh yeah.
But the reality is, like I've said it on my review too over there, where you can get Lewis's thoughts if you go watch that next. But I never thought we needed this movie. I still don't. You've only reaffirmed that in a way, so it's gonna be hard to, like, they're gonna have to impress me a little bit more now.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, no, they have to.
Like, there's gonna be some fun stuff that I'm gonna like regardless. I'm sure there's a couple cameos or things that I'll be like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
I want to keep being invested into the MCU storyline. Like, I want to watch Loki. I want to finish it. I want to see what are the ones that are coming up. Miss Marvel, even. I'm more excited for the Miss Marvel show than I am the movie Captain Marvel 2. I think that could be fun.
Oh,
I like the idea of, like, a kid who's a fan coming into the world. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm excited for some of this stuff. Secret Invasion, I think, is going to be badass. I've been hearing some things about how epic that's going to become. Hawkeye sounds badass. Actually, I know that book is really good. So I want to keep invested in the MCU, even if we complain. It doesn't mean we're going to stop watching.
We'll still watch it,
of course, but we're allowed to have feelings on this shit. That's why we have these YouTube channels.
You're a hater, Andy. You're a hater.
We're haters. I wish we could love it all. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, like, okay, what was the last thing that you love in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where you're like, this is really good, I really like it?
Hold on, sir. Hold on, my girls. You need me? Hold on.
She's asking the same question too.
Hold on. I'm streaming. Did you need me? Text me. Sorry, I'm just on the stream. Easier to type. I couldn't type it fast enough. What was the last thing I was excited by? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
In the MCU, I enjoyed the end of Endgame tremendously.
Oh yeah.
The end of Endgame was one of those just nerd, goosebumpy, like, yes,
yeah.
Like, Anthony Mackie on your left literally gave me chills in the theater.
Oh yes.
It was just beautiful. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh yeah.
And when because I knew it was coming. You know what I mean? But it was just the perfect, like, of course that's how you do it. It was beautiful. And that moment with the women all together forced was a little, like, cringy to me, but even that, like, everything was just like, there was just a celebration of excitement of, like, we did it, guys. Look, oh my God, can you believe this is all happening? Like, holy shit, like, look at this thing on screen. Like, the 5-year-old in me was like, oh my God, like, I had all my I got them. I love that. So that to me was the pinnacle of, like, I just don't know what you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 could get us there. I hear
I
Spider-Man
hope so.
become the end game of Spider-Verse movies.
I feel like it could. But we do have a super chat. Yay!
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. I don't have the thing automated. I'm not like as tech savvy yet for that. But I'll do the sound effects like woo, yeah, just your average Joe. And there you go.
I think it froze me though.
But I heard it though.
Okay,
And
good.
you are frozen.
Now I'm frozen because
You are frozen.
It gets better. All right, hold on.
So what he's saying is, even on a bad day, MCU is still greater than the DCEU. Oh my God.
I mean, I am more of a DC hater. I will take that. I guess it's true. I mean, just because of the movies, I don't like them. I don't like them as much. That said, I love Nolan's Batman Begins. It's still my favorite one. There's like a lot of good DC movies. Don't get me wrong, but the DCEU, I've not been a massive fan. No, MCU, I totally am. So it's always funny when they call me an MCU hater. It's like, dude, go talk to the DC fans and see who's really a hater, because it's true. The worst MCU movies, I'd still probably watch them over BVS or Justice League.
Yeah. Wait, what about the first Wonder Woman?
That's the best one.
Yeah.
And Man of Steel, I've come to respect a bit more than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just because of time, I'm like, all right, I guess it's interesting a take. It's still not my Superman, but I love the stuff with Diane Lane and him as a child.
Yeah.
Like there is some beautiful stuff in Man of Steel. I'm not going to deny it. But and there's a cool stuff in BVS. Like I love when Bruce Wayne sees Superman crash into the buildings. Like that's fucking sick.
Or that scene, the warehouse scene where he's fighting.
Yeah, like there are moments where Snyder hits a stride and it does work, but overall, it just doesn't excite me. I'd much even like Thor: Dark World would probably be more fun.
Kev saying, how are you today, Andy? How are you today, Nerd Reactor? We're doing good. James Howard mentioned best DCEU is Shazam. I completely forgot about Shazam. I actually enjoyed that one. It was enjoyable. It wasn't like up there, like top tier, but I would put that right below Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman's like the top one, and then Shazam, and then I would put Aquaman. Just because Aquaman is just fun. And
yeah, I liked Shazam actually better. The ending of Shazam was a lot of fun. But yeah, I would say Man of Steel, Shazam, and Wonder Woman are the best ones.
Yeah. So I think we're at the almost the hour mark. I'll end it soon. I don't know if you have any like last words you want to say.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I mean just that you suck and you've ruined my expectations of the film. So thanks, John.
You've done that to yourself. You've done that.
They're all saying Aquaman. I wasn't a big fan of Aquaman, but I didn't hate it.
And you can watch Andy on Popcorn Planet and all the other YouTube channels he's created to promote. What was it? What was the other one?
Movie World is where I like to send people, just because if you're a movie lover, go over there, because we do best movie ever. And we just did one with Howard the Duck. That was a lot of fun. We got Ed Gale, Howard the Duck himself, and we talk about how we made Howard the Duck the best movie ever. It's not that hard. I don't hate Howard the Duck, but it's not the best movie ever.
But I can hear your arguments with what is it, Thompson, Leah Thompson. That's like
Leah Thompson.
a highlight.
Good.
When I was a kid, watching that, yeah. But yeah, I guess my closing thing would be Black Widow. If you're already excited to watch it, go watch it. Don't listen to me. I'm just a dude with an opinion, and I'm especially in the minority with this. It's just me. Scott Menzel on Twitter. He thought it was disappointing. Just two people. Everyone else adored this movie. Everyone else said it's one of the best films, one of the best solo films in the MCU. It's tense, action-packed. Florence, she's going to go places, you know. She's going to be the Puniverse, whatever. I can't believe someone said that. And for me, didn't live up to my expectations. Taskmaster, very disappointing, very much wasted. The villains, family dynamic could have been better. I'm like 50-50 with the family dynamic. Just take away.
Again, all reactions, not a review.
Yeah, these are all reactions.
Not giving it a scale review.
A very long reaction, and it's just me reacting to other people reacting.
Reactions.
Yeah.
He did not give it a letter grade. All right, John. Now, what's your letter? No, I'm kidding. 20 stars.
But yeah, with that said, Andy, thanks again for joining, for hopping in, and
Thanks
everyone
for
else.
hopping on mine. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodles.